Hello, everybody who is online live or watching later. I guess brief introduction. I'm Emily, developer advocate for Linea. If you guys don't know me yet, I guess you'll get to know me over the course of this call. But anyways, what are we doing today? We're doing a developer workshop with Samina from thirdweb, basically empowering devs to start building faster on Linea. I know probably quite a few of you, or some of you, will probably be working in our hackathon with consensus over the course of like the next month and a half, I think. So Samina's here to also help you build better with that. But I'm not important. Our guest here is the important person today. Samina, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, well, hi everybody. I'm a developer relations engineer here at thirdweb. Basically, my job is to make sure our users understand how to use thirdweb and enable cool use cases for y'all to build in this upcoming hackathon. So I'm going to show you all today how to use thirdweb, tell you a little bit about it as well, and hopefully you guys can use it in your hackathon projects to accelerate.
Okay, awesome. So let's just start off with some Q&A, get the brain juices flowing, and Samina will dive right into probably like a demo and a teaching session. But for those of you who don't know, I see in the comments people are always saying thirdweb is their favorite, so that's awesome. What is thirdweb, and what do you guys enable developers to do?
Yeah, sure. I'm going to actually start sharing my screen if that's okay.
Yeah, awesome. Go for it.
All right, let me just move us over to the side. I feel like NASA, I have like 20 different things going on. Okay, can you all see this?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna really quickly go to portal.thirdweb.com, which is our documentation. I don't like using slides, so I always show this diagram when I start talking about thirdweb. But basically, thirdweb is a comprehensive Web3 development framework. And when I say comprehensive, it's because it takes you through every part of the tech stack. So from your contract all the way to building your application or front end. And if you want to add additional infrastructure so that you can enable more seamless or more better user experiences for the end user, you can also enable those types of things. So that's kind of the most quickest way I can put thirdweb. We do have a lot of different products within it. So I think the best way to learn about each one in detail is to just go through the documentation. But yeah, that's kind of it on what is thirdweb.
Okay, cool. So yes, there is a lot of stuff that you can do with thirdweb. Obviously, maybe we can dive into some use cases. I'm not actually sure if all of thirdweb stuff is on Linea. I know there's definitely a subset of it, but you guys do a lot of things, and things take time to migrate. So maybe we could talk about what you can do with thirdweb in general, and then dial into maybe what our hackers can do with thirdweb on Linea.
Yeah, of course. Most everything should be available. If there's something that's not available, I can make a tweet later after the workshop. I'll double check with our team. But everything should be mostly available. But as far as like use cases go, so I kind of like to bottle it by industry. We've seen like we've seen Web3 like basically penetrate every industry in some way or another. And I would say like, as far as use cases, we've seen like things in gaming like marketplaces, in-game currencies, NFT like characters and things like that you can use in-game. That's probably just in gaming itself. As far as e-commerce, we've seen people use like Shopify stores to enable like loyalty or enable like membership NFTs to kind of like level up as you make recurring purchases. I would say e-commerce is another big one. I've seen people create like decentralized exchanges using thirdweb, like just using the SDK and like some sort of existing contract, which is also really cool. But yeah, basically anything that you have a smart contract for, you can also build a front end or whatever you want, basically. I would say that's probably the most common ones I've seen. But yeah, if you want to dive in more, you could totally do that.
Yeah. Could we actually dive in more? Because I feel like I'm like, okay, that's really cool, but like, what specifically part of the like? I think I keep coming back to. I look at your website. You guys do so much. Like, where do I get started with? Say, I want to build like this NFT gaming use case that you mentioned. Like, what are they using thirdweb to hook into for?
What are you using thirdweb for? So we have for like let's say for example gaming, we have a thirdweb Unity SDK. So it allows you to seamlessly integrate Web3 components with Unity, for example. But yeah, it just depends on like what you're trying to create. I would say like mobile applications is something we're looking into as well. If you want to like enable, I'm trying to think of a use case where like you enable memberships and you want like somebody to like scan and get the QR code or something and make sure that they have access to whatever IRL thing that you're doing. Mobile is another really cool one. So different, probably different parts of the stacks for different use cases. But I would say maybe I can also share this. We have a bunch of case studies, which I think like really for a developer, I think they really do give that inspiration. So if you go to blog.thirdweb.com/case studies, you can see like how people have actually enabled it in real life. Like for example, Mirror, which is a blogging platform, enabled subscriber NFTs using thirdweb.
So very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Mirror's near and dear to my heart. If you guys aren't subscribed to Linea's Mirror blog, linea.mirrorxic. But actually, can you send me the link for this use cases?
Yeah, of course. Let me, do you think the private chat would be best?
Yeah, the private chat's good.
Great.
Cool. And I will throw this on. And then I think someone was also asking for the docs link that you showed earlier.
Oh yeah. All right, sure. It's portal.thirdweb.com. I'll just drop that in here.
Okay. Very cool. No, this is super helpful. I'm glad you showed that. I'm definitely like a monkey see, monkey do kind of person. I have like no independent thought. So being able to like kind of dial in and see where thirdweb plugs into the different verticals of Web3 is really great. But yeah, and maybe I think taking one more step forward. Do you have anything that you've kind of dreamed up of or you think would be cool to activate as like a hackathon project?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know.
You don't have to say anything. I think my default answer is like, yo, if I had an idea, I wouldn't be working this job and I'd be like working the idea.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So this is all secret. It's alpha. You can't. But no. But yes. Going back to I think the use cases is probably a good place to start for like getting inspiration, thinking about how thirdweb can integrate into existing Linea projects. So
yeah.
very
Of course. I think I would say gaming. I am at heart, I really love gaming. So if I saw any cool gaming projects come out of this hackathon, I would definitely play them.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That's kind of also where I sit. I'm glad we're aligned. I think what I say is probably gaming is the stickiest. The thesis is there are fewer users, I think, in gaming, but these users generate more transactions and are probably sitting on apps longer, which is, I think, more beneficial. So we're aligned. I like games. I actually only recently got into games with Zelda, though, so I can't say I was a
that's a good one, though. That's a good one to get started with.
By any means. But yeah, okay, so we kind of have like an idea of what thirdweb is, how to start using it, or like what we could use it for. Can you, I guess maybe this is the part where you give us a demo, teach us how to build it, incorporate it into our projects.
Yeah, of course. So whenever I start building a Web3 application, I want to start with a contract, right? And so there's a couple options here. I'm going to go over one of them, which is the building with the Solidity SDK. And we've made a command line or a command that basically makes it really easy to get like boilerplate code, and you can start modifying that. So I'm going to show you all how to do that today. The other option, which I'm going to show real quick, if you are not a Solidity developer like myself, I'm actually not a Solidity developer, a lot of people assume, but you can also use pre-built contracts, which is through our thirdweb Explorer. They're really easy to deploy. So let's say you want to do an NFT contract through just a user interface. You don't have to go through any code. So you can check that out. But I'm not going to show that because I'm assuming like a lot of us are developers here. So to get started, I'm going to go ahead and run. Okay, am I in the right thing? Yeah. So I'm going to run this command called npx thirdweb create contract. And I am praying to the demo gods today because sometimes I'm like a package behind or something. All right, so I'm going to name my project. Let's just call it Smina's or Smina. I'm just going to call it Smina. I don't know. I'm not very creative, as you guys can see. And you can choose your framework if you guys are familiar with Hardhat or Forge. That's one of the two options that we have here on the CLI at least. What will be the name of your new smart contract? I'm just going to call it hello. If y'all have better name ideas, maybe you can suggest them later. I'm going to start with an ERC 721 contract. I think this is probably the most interesting because it's the standard like NFT one. And then I'm also going to add an extension, and extensions make it really easy to add like additional features to your contract. The one that I'm going to add is a drop extension, and what it does is it adds lazy minting to your contract. So if you're not familiar with lazy minting, it basically enables you to upload the data so that your users are able to mint the NFT for the first time through their wallet rather than transferring it. That's the probably layman's terms way I can explain it. All right, so we're going to run that. It's going to build, and we're going to CD into this. And I'm going to open it in VS Code. Let's hope that loads really fast. Yes, I trust the authors. Let me zoom in.
Maybe one more.
One more? Okay, cool. So now you can see I have this contract already created for me. I can come in here and add extended functionality if I want to, additional functions. I can just customize it and make it the way that I want. But like I said, I'm not a Solidity dev, so I'm not going to do that part today. I'm just going to show you how to deploy this contract. So, but if you do want to learn more about like how to modify the Solidity SDK or add more extensions and stuff, you can do that through our documentation. So now I'm going to run a command to help me deploy this contract, which is npx thirdweb deploy. And by the way, if you do have a contract already that doesn't use Solidity SDK, you can still also run this command, and it'll still compile and detect all of your functionality. So let's run that. It's going to take a second. Need a water break. All right, cool. So I opened in a new tab here. So it'll basically redirect you to the browser once it detects everything. And I'm going to zoom in real quick. Is this good?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So now we can deploy this through a user interface. And what is really cool about this is I don't need to have a .env file to store my private keys, which is really, really important. Don't ever do that. Try to avoid it as much as possible. But I can just deploy this contract using the client. So for this, I'm now going to connect my wallet. I'm going to connect my MetaMask since I already have testnet funds here. But if you don't have that, actually, maybe I can. Would it be helpful to go over where to get testnet funds?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I think I should have pulled up the website before, but maybe if you want to.
Well, we could just go to the Linea docs have actually like all of the funding for getting Girly and then getting.
Oh, okay, perfect.
But I mean, this is fine too.
Is this
Are you going to Infura?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so you can see I've already done this earlier, but if you want to get testnet funds, if you're familiar with testnets, basically I would deploy on a testnet before mainnet because it'll allow you to test your project without using any real funds. But this is one of the best faucets I've used, I'm not gonna lie. So you just enter your wallet address and receive ETH, and it's super, super fast. It was like in milliseconds the other day that I tried it. So yeah, so get testnet funds, have testnet funds in your wallet. You can see I have a little bit here. And what I'm gonna do is copy my address here. And this is the royalties. So if you are familiar with NFTs, you can enable royalties. Basically, if your NFT gets sold again and again and again, you can take a percentage of it. I'm just going to put 0 for now. I could definitely change that later. And I'm going to call it Smina's test contract. Again, naming is just not my thing. And so let's copy my address again. Oh, it's probably still on my clipboard, but let's put that there. And here, you can see I already have the testnet on here, but if you don't have it on here already, you can search for it. So if I search here, you can see we both have the testnet and the
mainnet is on there. Nice.
Yep, should be on there. And I'm going to enable this add to dashboard, which basically makes it so when I come back to this, I can come back to this contract really, really easily. So So let's go ahead and deploy this contract. This might take a second. I'm going to go ahead and sign these transactions in my wallet. Hopefully you guys can see that. Oh yeah, I'm sharing my entire screen. Sometimes I share a portion and then you can't see MetaMask.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Perfect. Oh, it's so fast. This is one of the fastest things I've used.
Oh, nice. Okay, I was being like, oh, I can't believe I'm waiting. It should be happening immediately. Okay, good.
No, all good. I've definitely been on places where it's like slow and I'm like sitting there with the demo elevator music on. No, this is great. This is perfect. All right, cool. So now you can see that I'm on my dashboard where I can manage my contract. So through here, you can see there's a couple different tabs. We have a build tab that gives you code snippets to easily get started with your contract. This makes it really easy so you don't have to go to the documentation and it's customized. And Explorer, if you're familiar with Etherscan, the events, you can see I just created this contract, so you can see the functions and events there. Over time, we're adding better and better analytics. You can see there's nothing here yet because we just created this. Settings, like I said, we can change our metadata and everything later. And sources, if you are a dev and you want to go through and see all of the different things that the different files, you can go ahead and check that there. But let's get to the interesting part. I'm going to upload some NFTs. For this, I'm going to go to the NFTs extension here, and I'm going to hit batch upload. And let me see if I can find my, my stars. Here we go. So I'm going to add this CSV with a bunch of preloaded metadata, as well as my PNGs here. Oops, I didn't want to open numbers. Well, now you can see what's in the CSV. Oops. I'm going to just close that real quick. Sorry. So I'm going to drag and drop my NFTs here, and it really quickly populates. I'm going to hit next. We have a couple options here. You can reveal upon mint. But also, if you've ever been on OpenSea and you've seen like what looks like the back of a trading card for like all of these different NFTs, and you're like, why are they all the same? Some of these have like delayed reveal, which means like they'll open the NFT at some arbitrary time. But I'm going to just do reveal upon mint so we can just go a little bit faster here. And we'll confirm that. It does say this may take a while, so I hope, I hope it's not too long.
I guess because it's, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pending. Maybe I can speed that up. Should be quick. I've noticed sometimes when I stream, or like if I'm using my internet, I have that problem. But yeah, I can take any questions in the meanwhile.
I don't think there's any questions from that. I have a question. So all of these contracts are written by thirdweb. Okay. So like my usual paradigm, right, especially like if I'm creating like an ERC 721, right, is immediately going to Open Zeppelin because it's open source. All that is like security audited already. Is like thirdweb also that?
Yep. Yeah, we are. Some of our contracts are based on Open Zeppelin as well. But you can see actually, for example, this contract that I just created, you can see the audit report here as well. If you go on Explore, you can view the audit report here. And we use macro DAO, and you can see everything in here. But we'll tell you if a contract is audited. If it's not audited, typically we'll just keep it on a testnet until it is. So.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Very cool.
Go back here.
No.
Is it on pending?
Etherscan? I don't know. Maybe.
Might just be slow. Did everybody just go on testnet at once? They're like, send me the stream today. Let's all.
I can check the uptime. I mean, if not, it's fine. These things happen.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, transactions like are resolving. Or your transaction just failed on Etherscan.
Oh, it did. Oh, okay.
A swap failed, so maybe something's funk.
Let me try it again. If it doesn't work, I'm just going to use one of my other already deployed
Yeah, no, that's
contracts.
fine. That's fine.
I'm going to just do it real quick. If it doesn't work.
This is the real stress testing. Like, you can put as much load on it as you want, but the moment you put something live, that's actually when it breaks. Okay.
Did I have a second one? Oh, I promise I tested it and it works. It's just really giving me a time today. Okay. If this doesn't work, I think I should have one that's already deployed. Let me see. Can I do...
Yeah, I just sent a transaction and it sent immediately. So.
Oh, it did? Okay, yeah. It might just be like while I'm streaming. Okay, so this is what... Oh, yeah, this is perfect. So this is one I deployed the other day. If your transactions are not going through, let us know on the Discord. But
oh, did it just upload?
Oh, look, there we go.
Repriced.
Okay, I see. Okay, something probably changed within the time I hit deploying that, but that's okay. So this is the exact same thing I was going to do today anyway. It's just now I have a different contract name. This is my test contract. But let's go ahead and look back at our NFTs over here. So you'll see that I can now see all of the NFTs on my contract that I uploaded. I have the name, the description, the owner, and as you guys can see, it's OX00 because these are not claimed yet. So before I get started building, there's one more thing that I need to do with the NFT drop contract, and that's setting up claim conditions. And so claim conditions are basically settings that allow you to like enable different, I don't know how to put this perfectly, but basically claim conditions allow you to tell when your users, when your NFT is about to drop, or not tell them, but like make the setting for when your NFTs are claimable, how much they cost, different things. Maybe the best way to explain is just by showing you. So I'm gonna go ahead and reset this eligibility because I did this yesterday, but let's hope that one goes through.
No, I'm scared. Everything's
breaking. If not, I'll show you all another time.
Well,
oh no, it worked.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like it worked. Okay, perfect.
Nice. Well,
so let's edit this actually. Maybe that's how I'll show you. So you can see when this phase will start, how many NFTs will you drop in this phase. So let's say you have a big, large collection, but you only want to do a little bit at a time. You can do that. How many NFTs can be claimed per wallet? You can limit this. You don't want people hoarding your NFTs. And you can charge different prices for each claim phase. So let's say I wanted to do the native currency, I could do that, or I could do a custom ERC20 and I would just pass in an ERC20 token address. So I'll just keep that there.
And then I guess to touch on this, if it was like a custom token, it would have to be the one that's on like Linea testnet, right? Okay.
Actually,
or
I'm not
can it
100%
be anything
sure.
on any chain?
I haven't tested it, but I can get the answer for that later. I can post it on Twitter later. I'll have to ask our engineers. Okay. Yeah, but I haven't. I would assume they're all compatible, but maybe not. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure about like the L2 to L2. All right, cool. Okay, so that's it for that. Now I am going to go ahead and tab up, and we're going to start building an app. And I think I'm good on time. Yeah, cool. So we're going to build a really quick and dirty, pretty ugly app, but that's okay. Y'all can make yours look really pretty. So back in my command line, I'm going to run this command called npx thirdweb create app. All right. And again, maybe this time I'm going to call it Emily.
Nice.
And we'll use EVM.
The ugly dApp is mine.
Well, we'll go ahead and use Next.js. You can use any of these. I'm a Next.js fiend. Let's go ahead and go with JavaScript. Keep it simple today. And then I'm gonna wait for this to to run.
Is this specifically for like the NFT contract you just created?
This is just downloading all the packages for the app. So this is going to give you like some starter code that already has like thirdweb configured, and with a lot of these are probably going to be like Next.js packages. Okay, cool. And yeah, this is going to interact with the contract that we just created. So let's cd into the Emily project, and we'll go code dot here, and I'll just not close that other one. Oops. Why are you doing this? All right. Oh, why? Hold on. It's not letting me just double click and do that. Okay. Yes, I trust the authors. And now you see we have a basic Next.js app that I can start modifying and creating an app with. If you go into the underscore app.js file here, you can see we have the thirdweb provider, which is going to wrap all of your components. But let's go ahead and change the chain. And the one way I like to verify that I'm doing the right thing is I'll go to the build tab, and you can see that I need to import here. Let's go add.
Can you zoom in here as well?
Yeah. Is that better, or one more?
One more.
One more? Ooh.
Yeah. Okay, good.
All right. So we'll go ahead and add that. And then I'm actually going to I don't like passing it in like this, but you can do it however you want. I'm going to pass in, just want to make sure I could have totally typed that, but I just want to make sure I'm not misspelling anything. I'm going to pass that in, and now my app is ready to start building. So I'm going to go to the index.js file, which is where all my components are. Maybe it will help if I show you all what's in here. Let's go ahead and do yarn dev. All right. Perfect. So we have some starter code here, and you can see all of the different components and everything are in this file in our index.js. But I'm going to get rid of all of this because I don't want any of it. But if you do want to keep that there, that is totally up to you, of course. Let's go ahead and get rid of that, and I'm going to start building my app. So the first thing I want to do is make sure that I'm using the contract that I just created. So the way I'm going to do this is do const contract, and I'm going to use our use contract hook here and pass in our, where did my thing go? Right here. So I'm going to copy this address. Let's go back to VS Code. I'm going to paste that in here, and that should be good. It's going to give me a red thing because of the fragments. Oops. Let me, give me 1 second. All right. Yeah, now we're good. So now I have my contract in here, and then I'm going to take a few states here. You'll see why I'm doing this in a second. And error. And I'm going to use my use NFT hook. So this is how I'm going to get our NFTs. And I want it from this contract that I just created. And I'm going to just get the NFT at token 0 for now. You can also create a function to grab all of them. Why is this erroring out for me? Live coding is the worst. I don't know if you...
Yeah, no, I used to do that. Now I just copy paste.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. You know what? I'm doing that. It's like when I do it on my own, I promise you never. Wait,
I get what you mean exactly. It's the whole like cooking show where you're like, oh, that's what you do, and then you bring out the cake at the end. You know.
Exactly. Wait, let me see if I can. Did I met? Hold on. This is the worst. Hold on. Yeah, no, it's still, is it, what's it from? Colon expected. Okay, I'm gonna just keep going. I'll come back to this. So I'm going to do if is loading. So I'm checking to see if the NFT is loading in I'm going to return this div. That's just text that says NFT is loading. And then I don't think I prayed to the demo gods hard enough last night. I think that's what it was. So we'll do NFT not found if there's an error. And pass that in. And now I want, oh, it's because it's in the return. That's what I'm doing. I just realized. Oh. Okay, so this part needs to be out of here. That's what I did. Okay, so that was pretty crazy. Okay, so now I want to render our actual NFT. So I'm going to use what's called our thirdweb. Oh, these are all out here. It's 8 a.m. brain. All right. Now are we good? Okay, we're going to return this thirdweb NFT. I'll clean up my code here in a second. But thirdweb NFT media and the NFT. There we go. And the metadata we're going to pass is our NFT.metadata here. And we're also going to use another component, a UI component called our Web3 button. And in here, I'm going to pass in our contract address. I'm going to go ahead and make it really easy on myself and do contract.getAddress. And you can see all of this sample code in our docs. And then the action that I want to take with this button is I want a user to be able to claim it. So we're going to make that happen like this with this contract.claim. And whoops, we'll do one. We'll just do one. You can only claim one NFT with this. And inside of this button, we're just going to say claim star. And that should be it for the Web3 button. Okay, let's see if this renders. Let's go back to our local host here. Oh, use contract. Oh, sorry, I forgot to do all my imports now. Let's go back up here. I'll do connect wallet, thirdweb NFT media. I need Web3 button. Oh, we have Web3 button. Use contract, and we'll do use NFT. Now is it good? Are you happy with me now? Okay, so you can see NFT is loading. That's the first state. And hopefully it's not loading forever. Did I pass in the right contract address? Oh, no, I didn't. That's why. Okay. I didn't pass in our contract address from here. So let's do this and change this out. Why is it not saving now? Okay, we'll do save. Save all. Oh, we didn't save all. Okay, perfect. So now if you go here, perfect. There we go. So now we have our blue star from index 1 or index 0. You can see here on our NFT contract here. And it's this one right here. And I'm going to go ahead and this just use our connect wallet button here. I have logged in and I'm going to claim my store. Just pop up here. I totally did something wrong. Maybe not. I totally bugged something in here. I don't know if I can debug now. But basically, yeah, so basically once you hit this claim star, the expected behavior is that it will open up MetaMask, but I totally think I messed something up in the code that I'll have to look into. But afterwards, you can come back to our dashboard here and you can see that the owner will change to this wallet address that was connected. Let me actually, I can try this again. Let me just connect to sites, localhost. Yeah, it's giving me trouble today. No worries. But yeah, that's what you could start with. It's really, really easy. You can see that I've created a contract. I managed my contract on the dashboard, and then I created a really quick and dirty app all in under 35 minutes.
Nice. And that included time for Q&A.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have like the sample code or like the get starting docs for this?
I should. I think we might have it in the actual, we go to, this exact same flow should be here. So just want to make sure
It's in the Linea docs. Nice.
It's in the docs. Yep, exactly. Oh, deploy a smart contract. Here we go. So for deploying a smart contract, the exact flow that you saw today will be in the docs, the npx thirdweb create contract and everything. And then I don't know if we have the app part, but if we don't, you can totally see that on our blog. So we'll go to guides here. And I think we should have one specifically for, yeah, here we go. Yeah, so we have an exact blog that shows you how to do it on this network, but all our tools are very modular. So if you find an article or blog you like on another network, you can replicate the exact same thing through this one. So, yeah.
Okay, cool. So basically everything on thirdweb, whatever tutorial you'll follow, just replace testnet with Linea and you're good to go.
Exactly.
I guess the other piece is like, this is really good for like getting started really fast, right? But if someone has kind of a project that's already ongoing and they want to think of ways to incorporate thirdweb, like what can you do? Do you have like ideas of how to incorporate?
Yeah, of course. So you can, so one of the things I like to recommend is if you already have a deployed contract, one of the cool things you can do is if we go to the, thirdweb.com/dashboard, let's say that I want to use the Bored Ape Yacht Club. I don't know if that one's still super popular. Is that the right one? Ethereum main. I don't know if one of these is the right one. I hope it's this one. I would verify on Etherscan because it indexes everything. Okay, no, that's not the right one. Let's see. I hope it's the other one. Give me some doodles. The best way to do this. I'm so sorry. Etherscan Bored Ape Yacht Club. That's the one I like to always pull up. Has the most interesting. This has to be it. Yeah, so let me copy this address. I'm going to search for it. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. This is the right one. Ooh, okay. Okay, so now it's loading a dashboard with this already deployed contract, and you can add it to your dashboard so you can start like messing around and getting all of the functionality for it. So if you have an already deployed contract, this is one way you can incorporate. You can just import your contract into the thirdweb dashboard and start managing and doing stuff with it from here. The other way is like with the SDKs, you can also just add them in using the npm install command or yarn or whatever you're into. You don't have to use any of the boilerplate templates.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Very cool. So there's like elements where thirdweb doesn't actually go into your code versus there are parts where thirdweb does go into your code. Okay, mm-hmm. Awesome. That's very interesting. I guess what that means for hackathon. So again, if you are developing in the Consensus Virtual Hackathon, deploying on Linea, you do get bonus points for using tools outside of Linea, like thirdweb, and displaying why it's a meaningful integration. So I guess if they're doing something that's not in code, I guess just say it in your README. I imported a deployed contract to interact with and play around on the thirdweb dashboard. Perfect, right? That's how it would go.
Yeah. Okay. And I can share this contract link as well if you want to add that into your README. So you can see other people can interact with your contract through the dashboard. But yeah, I do want to share some resources if you guys want at the end to help you get started quickly.
Let's do that.
All right, I had a tab open, but I probably closed it. So I'm going to go to thirdweb.com/templates. This is one of my favorite ways to get started, is just starting with something that kind of already exists and modifying it. You can see all of the boilerplate stuff here, CRA, next, I don't know if many people use this. Maybe they do. NFT gallery, marketplace, NFT drop. And we're going to be adding a couple more next week, hopefully. So maybe like middle of the hackathon, you'll see this page populate a little bit more. That's one. The one I highly recommend is our docs, straight up source of truth, which is going to be portal.thirdweb.com. Or if you go to docs.thirdweb.com, it's the same thing. And then I would say our other thing is our guides, which live here. And I'll share all these links with Emily. You can go to blog.thirdweb.com and you can see a bunch of different guides on how to do different things. So, yeah.
Okay, very cool. This is exciting. Wow, I've never actually played around with thirdweb that much. I just knew you guys made things easier, but I actually see that you guys do make things easier. Is there anything else you wanted to add, talk about? Otherwise, we can close it off.
Yeah, I think maybe one call out is as you all are going through the hackathon, if you have any questions or run into any trouble, we have a big Discord community with a bunch of mods and everybody who are super helpful. Just drop in, put in a support ticket, or talk to somebody. It's going to be discord.gg/thirdweb, probably the best place to reach us. And if for any reason you need to contact me after this, you can email me, samina@thirdweb.com, or the best place is probably LinkedIn. I don't really respond outside of my email and LinkedIn as much. So
interesting. You're not a Twitter girl after the...
My Twitter DMs are closed
for
reasons unknown.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I guess, yeah, closing pieces. Are you going to be in Paris at all?
Unfortunately, I will not be, but we do have one of our engineers who is amazing, the best engineer out there. Hakeem is going to be there. And if you all want to meet him, just drop us a message in the Discord and we'll make sure like he's around the meetups you all are at.
Yes. I actually think is thirdweb going to be at one of the Linea events? I don't remember. I don't know. Maybe. But anyways. Okay, cool. That was really fun. Thank you so much for joining, Samina. Yeah, I guess search in the docs, go to their Discord. I'm really excited to see what people build. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I hope you have a good Friday.
You too. Bye, Ren.
Bye.